You can be so ridiculously grateful for the current life that you have, and you can still want more. You can be blissfully dissatisfied. You could just stop for a second and you can think about your own life, or you can look around and you can recognize that there are things that have come to fruition in your life that a prior version of you wanted so badly, worked so hard for, prayed for, wished for, dreamed of, and they are a freaking reality right now. How epic is that? How cool is that? It's finding this balance between being so ridiculously grateful, but also still letting yourself desire for more. Because desire doesn't mean that you're not grateful. It just means that that's pointing you in the direction of where you want to continue to go down a certain path to get more for your life. Because I don't think that you're supposed to show up here to life and just go through the motions and get to the end unscathed and be like, phew, I made it. I think you're supposed to use all of your potential and all of the dreams that are gifted on your heart. I don't believe they're gifted for accident. I believe that if you are gifted a dream on your heart, you are also gifted the resourcefulness to make it happen. What's up? I'm so excited that you're here for today's episode, or maybe you are watching this on YouTube, which if you didn't know, you can head over to my brand new YouTube channel at Keisha Get Mary, where these Empower Her podcast episodes drop every single Monday. So if you want to see it, I also just really love podcasts on YouTube. But in addition, I'm going to be doing some bonus fun videos over there too, if you like YouTube. So go check it out at Keisha Get Mary. Make sure you hit subscribe. And if you're listening into this podcast, I'm really excited about this topic today. I think you're really going to vibe with it. We're talking about blissful dissatisfaction. And oh my gosh, I love the concept of holding two emotions simultaneously, especially because in the world that we live in and in this time of year, if you're listening into this at the beginning of January, we often get really caught up in where we want to go. But what I care so much more about for you is that you get where you want to go, wherever there is for you. But you look back at the path that you took towards getting, then you're like, damn, that was fun. That was fulfilling. That was worth it. Because I don't want you to get where you want to go, look back at the path that you took toward getting there and just be like, shit, that sucked. I didn't like the person that I was. I didn't like how I, just put everything else on the back burner. I didn't like how I showed up for my health or my relationships. And I was just so gung-ho on that goal that I just didn't care about anything else. I think that you can have it all. And what I mean by have it all is, you can be so ridiculously grateful for the current life that you have, and you can still want more in some aspect of your life. You can be blissfully dissatisfied, and it's a freaking juicy way to go through life. And I want that for you, because I really do believe that if right now you were to stop wherever it is that you're listening into this podcast, you could just stop for a second and you can think about your own life, or you can look around and you can recognize that there are things that have come to fruition in your life that a prior version of you wanted so badly, worked so hard for, prayed for, wished for, dreamed of, and they are a freaking reality right now. How epic is that? How cool is that? Maybe the person that you're married to, the job that you have, the business that you started, the kids that you have, the friendships that you have, the health that you have, where you live, whatever, right? Something in your life, even if you don't have everything that you want, something in your life is something that a prior version of you once wanted. So we have to be grateful for that. We have to be excited about our current present reality. And it's finding this balance between being so ridiculously grateful, but also still letting yourself desire for more. Because desire doesn't mean that you're not grateful. It just means that that's pointing you in the direction of where you want to continue to go down a certain path to get more for your life. Because I don't think that you're supposed to show up here to life and just go through the motions and get to the end unscathed and be like, phew, I made it. I think you're supposed to use all of your potential and all of the dreams that are gifted on your heart. I don't believe they're gifted for accident. I believe that if you are gifted a dream on your heart, you are also gifted the resourcefulness to make it happen, right? So what does that mean for you? Well, when you're thinking about 2026 or goals that you have for this year, how can we find that balance of being ridiculously grateful for what we have while still understanding that we want more? Well, honestly, for me, I think it's just understanding that with every goal that I have, with every dream and vision that I have, there is two sides to the coin, right? So for example, business wise. Like you can get shiny object syndrome a little bit and just only look at the positives of business. But with any goal, there's a negative, right? If you want to grow your business, that means sometimes you're not going to be wanting to work on your business. And guess what? You're going to have to do the shit that you don't want to do to get where you want to go, right? There's a double-edged sword, but that means that you can reap the rewards of fulfillment and impact and income or whatever that is. Same rules apply with your health. Right. This morning, I did not want to get up at 5:35 when my alarm went off, because it went off before my 2-year-old was awake too. So it's like, that felt like extra hard where I'm like, oh my God, I really got to get up right now. Got up, went to the gym, but I want the feeling that comes after working out. I want to feel healthy and strong during my pregnancy. So I want that result, which means I also then have to deal with getting out of my warm bed at 5:30 in the morning and getting myself going, right? Like, I know that some of these things are like, duh, Keisha, but the truth of the matter is, like, sometimes we forget that those two things coexist, right? The exciting part and I guess we could call it the negative part. Those two things are part of any goal. Those two things are part of life. Any part of life, right? I think right now you could probably list 10 things that you're ridiculously grateful for, but you also could probably list 10 things that you're kind of annoyed with right now, or that you really want to work on in your life, or aren't where you want to be. Part of it is just perspective, right? Wherever you focus is where your attention goes, right? And it's like, where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're only thinking about where you want to go and you're forgetting how far that you've come, you're missing the opportunity to feel proud of yourself in pursuit. And I've just always been a really big advocate of falling in love with the process more than what the process could produce, because the goal is actually not guaranteed, but the process sure as hell is. Right? And if right now you're on the start line towards a goal that you have for 2026, or a vision that you have for your life, your career, your relationships, your health, whatever it is, well, you've got a long way to go, especially if you're a big dreamer like me. Like I'm starting in a brand new career path in the real estate industry, which is something I've never done before. And we've talked plenty of times on this podcast about how often you hear people talk about comparison, not comparing ourselves to other people. But what I've always struggled with more, and I know a lot of you, maybe you specifically can connect with this, like we struggle sometimes with comparing ourselves to a prior version of ourselves when the circumstances were different, right? Like I could speak on a stage right now in front of 10,000 people, no notes, and feel so comfortable because I've done it several times. Right? Versus, walking a buyer through a $5 million house. I've literally never done that before. So of course I'm going to feel nerves, and I'm going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm a rookie at this. I'm brand new. I got to get my footing, but I can't compare myself in this brand new season of a new career path to a prior version of me that's just had a ton of reps. Right? But I can be grateful for the version of me who's built up so much confidence from doing things that I thought that I couldn't do, and then proving to myself, you sure as hell can. And here's the thing, you have that proof too, right? Look at your past. There are things that have come up. In the last year, there are things that have come up where you're like, holy crap, I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to handle this conversation, this situation, this diagnosis, this whatever. Like, how the hell am I going to handle this? But here you are on the other side. You literally handled it. So let's be grateful for the version of us that went through some shit last year to help us build confidence and resilience and resourcefulness, things that you can't build unless you've dealt with some shit, right? So let's be grateful for that version of us and all of the things that we learned, and then be excited about what's coming next, because we're blissfully dissatisfied because we want more. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. And I think, I'll speak to the moms a little bit, because I've had this interesting experience in my motherhood journey where it's like, I'm so grateful for the tiny little human in front of me, and I don't want to miss anything, right? This is part of even like why I swung the pendulum to kind of like a stay-at-home mom mode for a second there. And then I just didn't feel like myself after a couple of months, which is why I'm really excited about challenging myself in a new career path, why I'm back to this podcast, why I'm excited, and I remember just feeling like I am so grateful, which was true. But I also was like, I don't feel satisfied with this being my only focus. And I think there are plenty of people that do feel really satisfied with that or feel satisfied with that for a season. That's amazing. Like it's your life, right? Like the vision that you have for your life was gifted in you for a reason. It's not always going to look like mine or your best friends or your sisters or your coworkers or your neighbors, whatever, right? Like it's your vision. But for me personally, I felt like I was dissatisfied because I didn't feel like I was challenging myself in a different way. But it was pretty comfortable. Right? It was pretty comfortable being in this mom mode and just like getting to soak that up. So knowing that I wanted to start something new, that I had to be a beginner at something new and suck at the beginning because everybody sucks at the beginning when you start something new. You just don't get to skip that part. I had resistance to that. But I know that I love the feeling of being blissfully dissatisfied. You know, when I heard Ed Milet, the podcaster that I mentioned, that came up with this term, blissful dissatisfaction, it resonated with me on such a deep level because I'm like, that's what it is. I am one of the most grateful people on the freaking planet. I recognize that I'm living out a prior version of me's dreams in so many aspects of my life. And girl, so are you. But I also just really want to soak it up while I'm here. Right? Like I want to use all of my potential. I want to take this energy that I have and just like share it with the world. Like I have so much that I want to do. I have so many ideas. My brain is 800 tabs of business ideas. So like if you ever need one, slide into my DMs and I'll just send some business ideas your way. But truly, it's like there's so much that I want to do and I just want to soak up the juiciness of life. But I also want to be so present and grateful. And sometimes I have to actually ground myself because I can just float off into like cyberspace in my brain where I'll physically put my feet on the ground, like literally stomp them on the ground. And I'm like, be present where your feet are. And that will help me ground into the moment, right? Especially if I'm like playing on the ground with like dinosaurs with my 2-year-old and I'm starting to like drift off into something else. Like, of course I'm going to do that sometimes. Like none of us can be present all the time. But I try and ground myself in that because I'm like, gosh, you're so grateful for this life that you have. And here's the thing, we don't know how much time we have. So you could have this big vision or this big dream of what you want to do. And I challenge you to go for it, right? Like you would have never been gifted that vision if it wasn't yours to chase. But we don't know when we're going to get there. We don't know what the process is going to look like. And all we can really do is be grateful for the person that we're becoming in pursuit of where we want to go. And it's interesting. Because when I think about goals, like I'll use my own like specific example with real estate, right? Wanting to get into, you know, my husband and I have been investors for 4 years, but wanting to go down this path of real estate. One of the reasons that I wanted to go down this path is because I was asking myself, who am I going to need to become to accomplish that goal? And are those mini goals and those micro steps, are those important to me? And when I think about real estate and the type of business that I want to build, I'm like, okay, I'm going to need to be even more social. I'm going to need to like host fun events in Denver where I live to get to connect with more people, which will also bring me more clients. I'm going to need to like get out there more. I'm going to need to learn more of a skill. I'm going to get to like dress up in cute outfits with my cute little bump as I'm like starting my real estate journey and getting just progressively bigger and bigger. Right now, I don't like have that kind of a bump. I more so look like just like a little bit busted can of biscuits, kind of just like I eat a lot of burritos. So I'll let you know when it's cute. I'll show you when it's cute. But truly, I was like thinking a lot about like, what are the things that I'm going to need to do? I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get like dressed up. I'm a mom who, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm in sweatpants and yoga pants, right? Or I'm in a sweatshirt and yoga pants right now with a headband and like some dry shampoo in this hair. Like that's kind of what my role is like. And I'm like, the version of me that gets dressed up in cute outfits, like I want to meet her in 2026. And I know there's so much more complexity to real estate than what I just mentioned, but I was like, I also want to be around like women in person, like have some coworkers, join a brokerage, be around other people. And I started to think about all of the little tiny things that aren't going to get me to some arbitrary goal of selling X amount of houses or volume in real estate, right? Like I can have those goals, but when I think big picture about who I'll need to become and what I'll need to do and how I'll need to show up, I got really excited about the process and I got really excited about the journey towards becoming. And I think sometimes we don't think through our goals or our vision that way. Like, who do I need to become to make this a reality? And what is that going to look like? Because when we break it down and we can get excited about the micro things, that helps us feel so grateful. So we can be dissatisfied that we're not where we want to go. Like I can guarantee you with 100% certainty that I'm going to be in a new career path and it's not going to go as quickly as I want it to, right? Because I'm going to be comparing myself to a prior version of myself who has done so much in the online space, who feels so comfortable and confident, who can launch things and sell stuff. Like this version of me that I worked for 10 years on, right? Like I've been an entrepreneur, 11 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 11 years, from network marketing to podcasts, to coaching, to courses, to memberships, to huge events, to retreats, all this stuff. Like I'm confident in that stuff. And I'm sure you have your own version of that. The last job that you were in, or the business that you had, or when you had one kid before you had two kids, or in the last relationship that you're in and now you're back on the dating scene, or in that city that you lived in and now you're in a new city, you're like, shit, I don't know anyone. I don't know where to go, right? Like that version of you, she had it figured out. This version of you who's striving for something new, who's maybe at the start line, she doesn't know how it's going to go yet. And it's probably not going to go as quickly as she wants it to. So she has to get excited about who she's going to become in the process so that she can be blissfully dissatisfied. So she can be blissful in pursuit of where she wants to go that she isn't at yet, that point that she's not at yet. And especially if you're a big dreamer, if you have a big ass vision of where you want to go, then guess what? That distance between where you are now and where you want to go is massive. Me too, right? Like all the things that I want to do, I have fears about how I'm going to make them come true. I'm literally having a baby in 6 months and I'm starting a brand new career path and I don't know what the juggle is going to look like. I can get caught up in the things that I don't know. I can use my beautiful imagination that we all are gifted as humans to worry, or I can use my beautiful imagination that we're all gifted as humans to get really damn excited about how good it could get, how far I could go, how fulfilling it could be, how impactful it could be, how much income I could generate, how much I could give back, all the things, who I could become. I can get excited about that. Talk about blissful. I'm like, boop, boop, like booty popping over here, feeling so blissful. And I know that I'm going to be dissatisfied because I know there's going to be hard times along the way with any path, right? We've got to understand that it is a double-edged sword, that it is I was going to say double-edged coin, a double-sided coin, whatever. Maybe you're picking up what I'm putting down anyways, right? That there are two sides to a goal. And if we only get caught up in the exciting stuff, we're going to forget that there's some shit that we just have to deal with to get where we want to go. There is some unsexy, monotonous, like click clacking that we got to do, or whatever it looks like for you and your business, your dream, your whatever, right? That's part of it. And that's the part that we're probably going to feel a little dissatisfied with. Like, I'm not excited to like fill out a contract, right? For a buyer, be like, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not pumped about that, but getting to meet them and figuring out what they want and getting to sit down and walk them through houses, like, hell yeah, sign me up. So apply this to your own life, right? There are just going to be times that you're like, I don't want to eat the salmon. I want to eat a cheeseburger, right? And maybe right now you're trying to eat some more salmon or whatever it looks like for you, right? So understanding that the whole journey is going to be blissful dissatisfaction should you choose, because whatever you look for, you're going to find. So right now in this current moment, you can feel grateful for who you are right now. Even if I'm just picturing maybe some of you are on a health journey right now and you came off of the holidays or the end of the year and you maybe like me, I went hard on desserts. I was like, this is my last pregnancy. I'm going to eat this. My husband is Persian. So his family at their house, they have this Persian ice cream. I honestly don't even know what's in it. Crack. It's so good. And I was like, I think the baby just needs this. It's not even want, it's needs this. And I ate that Persian ice cream probably 4 nights in a row, right? I don't know, whatever. And I was like, it is what it is, right? But I'm not going to take this version of me who still wants to feel healthy and active and fit and, doesn't want to gain a bazillion pounds during her pregnancy. I'm not going to look at that version of me and be like, ugh, you didn't set me up for success in 2026, right? And obviously, because I'm pregnant, this is a little bit different, but take this and apply it in your own life, right? That version of you did what she needed to do in that exact moment, and that was right for her. And this version of you gets to make progress forward, right? We don't need to be looking backwards. We're not going that way. The only thing I want you looking backwards about is to look at how far you've come and to feel proud of yourself for the skills that you built in the last year that did set you up for success, right? Like, you have been through some stuff. Everyone, I swear, like everyone that I've talked to about 2025, it just feels like they got dealt a curveball or just like some shit was really, really hard in 2025. And if you feel that way too, recognize that resilience and that grittiness, that resourcefulness, that confidence that you built, or maybe you don't feel super confident right now, but like the skills that you built to get through the stuff that you went through, like you're raring to go. You're raring to go now. So believe in that. Believe that you can be so blissful and proud of yourself and excited about where you're going and excited about the person that you have to become and the things that you're going to need to do and fall in love with the process rather than what the process could produce and really get excited about the journey of who you're going to become along the way. And it's going to be epic and it's going to be shitty at times. It's just going to be hard. So you're going to be really dissatisfied sometimes. And it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be hard and it's supposed to be awesome at the same time because you can always look for the awesome. You can always look for the grateful parts, right? It's why so many people talk about gratitude practices and journaling and like, spoiler alert, I'm never doing a morning routine because my morning routine starts with like, Bobby, like that's literally normally how my morning routine starts. Like I'm never going to talk to you about my morning routine. After becoming a mom, I'm like, screw morning routines. Like I have no idea. But truthfully, for you, there are going to be times that you're going to want to throw in the towel this year because you're going to just feel really dissatisfied with yourself, with the situation, with the distance between where you are now and where you want to go. Like you're just going to be annoyed. It's part of it. I'm going to be annoyed too. It's going to be hard. But because it's going to be hard sometimes, that's why a future version of you is going to be so proud. The workout that I did this morning, I promise you, it was so many damn squats that tomorrow I'm probably going to have to like hold the wall and like slide down to pee. You know what I mean? Like when your butt is so sore, like where you literally are like, I can't even just like squat to pee. Like I am going to be so sore. And I'm telling you about it because I'm freaking proud of myself that I worked my butt off, literally, and did it. And I'm going to feel so sore tomorrow. I would never be talking to you about it if I showed up to my workout and I was like, it was so easy. I barely worked hard at all. I'm not even proud of myself. Like you're proud of yourself because it's hard sometimes. That's why we do it. We want the feeling that we think we're going to feel from accomplishing that goal. We want the pride feeling. And here's the truth of the matter is you'll get it then when you accomplish the thing that you want to accomplish. And I'm excited for you to get that feeling then. But you can get it now when you're your own biggest fan, when you celebrate with those tiny little wins. I know this is corny. I've said it a bazillion times if you've been listening to empowerHER, but I will remind you once again, I think of confidence like a bucket, okay? And every single time that you show up and keep a promise to yourself to do the thing that you said that you're going to do after the feeling that you said it and is gone, it's like you're putting a deposit into your bucket. For sake of this analogy, plop, 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 plop. This is why you got to watch on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. Fill it up your bucket, okay? Right? When your bucket is full, you're so damn confident. But guess what? When you get a no in your business or someone doesn't understand your vision or something goes wrong or you take a setback, which will happen this year, it's going to feel, for sake of this analogy, like somebody smacked the side of your bucket and a bunch of it plopped out, right? It just sloshed out of your bucket. But when you're focused on those micro little deposits to keep filling up your bucket because you're looking for the tiny little things that you can be proud of, the tiny little things that you can be excited about, guess what? When your bucket is smacked on the side and some sloshes out, you still have some in your bucket because you're always adding. So be on your own team and understand you are going to go through this year being blissfully dissatisfied and it's going to be awesome. And if you end up looking up the podcast that Ed Milet did about this topic, it's completely different than what we're talking about now. I took the term and I just really went rogue with it. So if you're like, oh, that was the term that he said and the way that she interpreted it is like way different. Yeah, I did. Okay. But like, that's why we do this podcast thing. So I can share with you my perspective so that maybe while you're listening into this, you're in the shower, you're tossing your loofah in the air, you're driving to work, you're chasing your kids around, you're walking your dog, whatever you're doing, right? That you can be like, damn, she gets me. Does she have cameras in my house? Right? Truly, I just want to be with you on this journey. Like, there's going to be so many fun guests and people that are going to come onto this show. And I'm so excited about what's going to come in 2026. And I'm pumped to be back on this mic with you. And I'm so excited about how many of you are so excited about the show being back. And I've done a lot of back-to-back solo episodes, honestly, because I just think I've had 6 months off the mic. So I'm just like, I just want to talk to you and be like, hey, and just pour my energy and hopefully enthusiasm and perspective into you that can hopefully be helpful in your life. But I'm excited about what's to come for you and for me and for this journey together. So if this episode resonated with you, it would mean so much to me if you would literally here's your options, okay? Share it on Instagram stories and tag me so I can thank you. If like you're someone who shares on Instagram, if you're like, Kish, I don't do that. If you've never left a review on this podcast, feel free to leave a review. Or go subscribe on YouTube. I want to build up that YouTube channel so we can do a bunch of cool stuff over there. And I think sometimes people forget about YouTube, but then when you watch it on YouTube, you're like, wait, why have I not been watching podcasts on YouTube for forever? So anyway, I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm excited to connect with you more in 2026. Happy New Year. Let's do the damn thing. And I'll talk to you soon, girl.